Hi, puppies. Mr. Bruce here. Today's book, The Puppy Who Wanted a Boy. But before we start, eyes watching, ears listening, voices quiet, body calm. All right. One day, little Petey, who was a puppy, said to his mother, "I'd like a boy for Christmas." And his mother, who was a dog, said, "Well, if you're a very good puppy, I don't see why you couldn't have a boy for Christmas." So the day before Christmas, Petey's mother said, "Have you been a very good puppy?" "Oh, I didn't frighten a cat. I've been very good." "Not at all?" "Well, just a little bit, maybe." "But I didn't chew any shoes." And his mother said, "Not any?" And he said, "Well, just a tiny, teeny, weeny chew." And I almost remembered to bark when I wanted to go out. "All right," said his mother. "I think you've been trying to be a good little dog. I'll go out and I'll get you a boy." But when Petey's mother came back, she looked worried. She said, "How would you like a nice, soft, white bunny for Christmas?" He said, "No, thank you. I'd like a boy." "Wouldn't you rather have a nice, lovely canary?" "I'd like a boy," said Petey. "How about some guppy fish? They make a lovely pet." "I would just want and only want a boy." At last his mother said, "Petey, there are no boys to be found." "No boys to be found?" "I could not find one. They're terribly short of boys this year." Petey thought he couldn't stand it, but then his mother said, "Now, there must be a boy somewhere. Perhaps you could find some dog who would give his boy away." "Do you think I could?" said Petey. "I wouldn't hurt to try," said his mother. So Petey started off to look. It wasn't long before he saw a collie dog racing with the boy on a bicycle. Petey was excited. He said, "If a boy had a bicycle and I had that boy, I could run like anything. I'll take a little run right now and I'll ask the collie politely if I could have his boy." So Petey leapt after the bicycle and he called out to the collie, "Excuse me, do you want to give your boy away?" But the collie said no, he definitely did not, in a dreadful voice. Petey sat down and watched the collie and the boy ride away. "I really didn't want a boy on a bicycle anyway," he said. After a while, he saw a setter playing ball with a boy. Peter was delighted. "If I had a boy to play ball with," he said, "I'd catch the ball smack in my mouth. I'd like to catch that ball right now." But he remembered how mad the collie had been, so he sat down on the sidewalk and he called out politely to the setter, "Excuse me, do you want to give your boy away?" But the setter said no, and he definitely did not, in a terrifying tone of voice. "Oh, well," said Petey, trotting off. "I don't think playing ball is so much fun anyway." Soon Petey came to a bulldog who was sitting in a car with the boy. Petey was pleased, for he was getting a little tired from so much walking. "If I had a boy in a car," said Petey, "I'd laugh at walking dogs, and I'd like a ride right now." So he called out loudly, "Excuse me, do you want me to give your boy away?" But the bulldog said no, he didn't want to give the boy away, and he growled in Petey's face. Come on, Petey, where's your next page? "Uh-oh," said Petey. He hurried behind a house and stayed there until the bulldog drove away. "Well, who wants to go riding in a car? Not me," he said. He thought he would just rest a while. He'd come a long way for such a little dog. He was limping a bit when he started off again, and after a while he met a Scotty dog walking with his boy and carrying a package in his mouth. "Now, this is a good kind of boy," he said. "If I had a boy to take walks and carry packages for, I might get some dog biscuits or cookies in that package. I'd like a cookie right now." He hadn't had any lunch. He remembered how cross the other dogs had been, so he stayed across the street and shouted, "Excuse me, would you like to give your boy away?" Well, the Scotty had his mouth full with the package, but he managed to say no, he definitely didn't want to, and he showed his sharp teeth to Petey. I guess that wasn't the kind of boy I wanted either. But goodness, where can I find a boy? Well, Petey trotted on, but he couldn't find a single dog who would give his boy up. Petey's ears began to droop, his tail was limp, his little legs were tired. My mother was right, there isn't a boy to be found. Just as it was getting dark, he came to a large building at the edge of town that had a sign in front, and it said, "Home for Boys." Maybe I could find a boy here, Petey said to himself. These boys have no parents and no dog to take care of them either. He slowly walked up the home. He was so tired he could hardly lift his little paws. Then Petey stopped and he listened at the window. He could hear music. He looked through the window and he saw a lighted Christmas tree and children singing carols. Petey saw something else. On the front of the stairs, there was a boy all by himself. He was not a very big boy, and he looked pretty lonely. Petey gave a glad little cry. He forgot about being tired. He leaped up on the boy's lap and sniffed his nose. Wag wagged his tail. He kissed the little boy with his warm, wet tongue. How glad the little boy was to see Petey. He put both arms around him and tugged him, hugged him tight. Well, the front door opened, and a lady looked out. "Well, why are you here, Ricky? What is our newest little boy sitting here all alone for? Come on in and sit near the Christmas tree," she said. Petey sat very still. The boy sat still. The boy looked up at the lady and down at Petey, and he began to tremble. Would the boy go in and leave him? "I'm not alone," said the boy. "I've got a puppy." "A puppy?" The lady came out and looked at Petey with surprise. The boy said, "Can he come in too?" "Why," she said, "you're a nice little dog. Wherever did you come from?" Yes, it's cold out here. Bring him in." "Come on, puppy," cried the boy. And in he went. A crowd of boys was playing around the Christmas tree. They rushed at Petey. They picked him up and petted him. Petey wagged his tail and he wagged his fat little body. He frisked about and licked every one of the boys. "Can we keep him? Can we keep him?" said one. "Can we give him some supper?" said another. "I know," said a third. "Can we fix him a nice warm bed?" "We'll give him some supper and a nice warm bed," said the lady, "and tomorrow we'll find his mother and see if she'll let him stay with us." Petey knew his mother would let him stay. She knew how much he wanted a boy. "But she won't be surprised," said Petey to himself with a happy grin, "when I tell her I get 50 boys for my Christmas." The end. Well, that turned out lucky for both of them. The boy got what he wanted, a puppy, and the puppy got what he wanted, 50 boys. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with more stories, but remember, wash your hands. Be good to your folks. Bye-bye.